I talk with some of these artists and I feel like, I don't know, I guess I have no apologies, but it sounds egocentric when I'm like, I did make sacrifices in the beginning, and my husband and I worked for 40 years, but for me now, it's not all about the money. But then I talk to someone who's younger and just trying to make ends meet, and they have to make all these sacrifices, and they see me doing this stuff just for fun, like going to the portrait conference and then going here and then going there. And it's like, well, I can afford it because I worked for 4 decades to get to this
Yeah.
point. So no apologies. But on the other hand, I can see where if my life had gone in the other direction and I'd gone into art instead of engineering and done it, that way, I would have had to I would have faced a lot of poverty, kinds of situations to begin with. And so I can't speak from what they're experiencing. So I don't know. It's like there's all these different, isn't it weird that way in the art world where you're dealing with people that are coming at it where they have an awful lot of money, a lot of wealth, right? And they're
Mhm.
collecting or doing this just for fun or whatever. And then you're dealing with the people who, haven't figured out how to, make this work for them yet or whatever. So it's great that we have all these opportunities, FASO included, that we can, explore and figure out what works for us, right? And whether
Yes.
it's teaching or videos and the realism resources, let's be honest. I mean, when I graduated from high school in 1979, I actually had a scholarship to the Cranbrook Art Institute, and I had been the illustrator for the city of Sterling Heights. And I was all poised to jump into the art world. And I get out there and I'm looking at these curriculums, that they had at the universities, and they're literally talking about Rothko and Jackson Pollock. And I'm like, where's the Rembrandt? Where's the Vermeer
Mhm.
discussion? It didn't exist.
Yep.
So at least now they're like this shift more toward realism. People have that option. For me, I'm like, I knew I didn't want to paint like Rothko because I still don't understand him. No offense to anybody out there who's a fan. But the thing is I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do. But like you said,
Mhm.
there were no resources available to do otherwise, and I lived in the Detroit area, and um, I wasn't into cars, so I couldn't do like auto art. So I
Right.
was, I'm like, what do I do? And I hated chemistry and I love a problem. So I'm like, how much do chemical engineers make? Okay, let's do this. Let's make a whole bunch of money real fast in engineering and then do our art thing.
Mm.
So that was my tact or whatever. And I think it worked.
Wow.
I think this business weeds out the people who well, maybe it doesn't weed everybody out. If you're just interested in marketing and you're really good at it, I think you can do really well, right?
Yeah.
But people that have a passion for art understand that if you don't, it's not going to get you through those tough times. Like I was at the portrait conference this weekend, and I was listening to Kevin McPherson. He had a talk, and he was talking about how he was down in Mexico painting, and there's these guys that in this area that he was in that looked like they wanted to kill him, but then they come over and they look over his shoulder and go, "That's pretty good. We won't kill you today." Like you're literally yourself, or James Gurney was talking about how him and Thomas Kincaid, right after they graduated from college way back when, they were hobos. They jumped freight trains and lived in boxcars for years, painting plein air, painting people and everything. Like you put yourself into those risky situations. Why? Because you're so consumed and you're so all about the art, right? And
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think normal, not that I think we're all insane there. We're just on that continuum of insanity, right? To the level
Yeah.
that
It's a
it
spectrum.
interferes with other people and your functioning in society, is whether you get the white coat or not. But I think you have to be a little bit like nutty and so like taken by this whole, passion for the arts and putting beauty in the world and being one of the creators.